this fucking dude in a tap out shirt comes into the room. And
that's like a real detail. That's a real detail.
It said tap out on it, and he's like yelling at us. He's like, "What did you?" He's like, "My girlfriend isn't stupid. She's smart." What's up, everybody? Welcome to Maximum Zach. On today's episode, we have Niles Abston. We talked about fans trauma dumping to comedians. We talked about how stand-up comedy is almost impossible. And we talked about him writing for the show Dave. Let's get into it. So, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm from Mississippi. I'm a stand-up comedian. I was a writer on the last season of Dave on FX. Yeah, just out here making shit happen, you know.
Hell yeah, dude. So how's everything going? How have you been?
It has been a frustrating time, the beginning of this year for sure.
Yeah.
Just like coming off the strike and everything.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
And things just not opening up the way you really thought they were going to. So it's been a struggle, but I'm having fun making my own stuff though. So that's cool.
Yeah. Like during the strike, did you like just lean more into stand up and stuff?
Yeah, it's all I could do really. I went and hit a few cities. I was just trying to get on stage and do as much stand up as possible. But then I was also like working. I was working at a dispensary during the strike too, so that sucked. But yeah. So yeah, I was trying to do as much stand up as I could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing stand up for?
Since summer 2016, so coming on 8 years.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Did you always like want to do stand up or
no? I don't want to do it now. I want to quit. Every time I want to quit, everybody makes me keep doing it. I want to quit so bad. Nah, dude, I moved out here to LA to write movies.
Yeah,
and you know that takes blood from an orphan and rich parents and shit like that, and a ritual sacrifice. So I wasn't able to do that at 20 years old, and so but I had a friend. She had read like this short story I wrote, and she thought it was really funny, and she was like, "You should like go on stage and say this shit." And I didn't know you could just do that. And,
yeah.
And so I started going to open mics, and I was fucking terrible.
Yeah.
But now I'm okay at it. You know.
Hell yeah. No, dude, you're really fucking funny.
Oh, thanks, man.
You ever like, have you? When was like the last time that you bombed? Like,
last time I bombed. It was like about a month ago.
Okay.
Yeah, I bombed about a month ago, and it was like this show, and like the place is like, and I kept saying it on stage, like I like when I say I bombed, I just didn't do as good as I usually do. Like I'll never have a set where like no one ever laughs or I get booed. I've been doing comedy too long for that to happen, but I definitely just had a set where the people just like weren't really reacting at all until I started saying like certain things.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like, and I kept referencing it's like the place was just like too sexy for comedy. Like it was just like dude, it had these like sexy ass like purple couches and like this like dim lighting and shit, and like everything was like spread out, and it was just like couches here and like high tabletops. It was very spread out, and it was only like 12 people.
Yeah.
And it was like the basement of like this club.
Yeah.
And so when we walked, in fact, Ben was with me. We were there. You know about. You just didn't say anything because you wanted to like be nice. But
it was exactly what you said.
And I appreciate you not being like, damn, bro, you bombed because
Yeah.
And so like you walk in, it's like this like club, right?
Yeah.
So like you walk in, people are checking in. There's this huge bar, people on the dance floor, and it's like loud, and people are having like this party. And so we walk into that, and they're like, "Oh, you're on the comedy show? Like that's downstairs." Yeah. So imagine buying tickets or signing up to go to this comedy show at this club, and you walk in and you see this fucking dope party with these beautiful women and stuff, and then you're like, "Oh, I have to go sit at a comedy show." So you're just downstairs and you can hear the party above you. You're like, I don't want to fucking be here for this. I want to be at the party with the titties. And I even said it, and I made them laugh. I was like, hey, look, I want to be upstairs too, okay? I totally get it. I want to be upstairs too. I don't want to even do this shit. But yeah, my friend that like ran the show, I had to get back because like I'm a dumbass, and like I'll go do a spot over anything. Like I remember like me and I have an ex-girlfriend and I still fight with about this to this day about how like I flew back to New York for her birthday during the weekend and like I went and did a show. But I didn't miss anything. I didn't miss her birthday. It was just like, all right, we're not doing anything from this time to this time. I'm gonna go do this show. And she got very upset about that. But it's like, I'm always going to go do a spot if I can go do a spot.
Yeah.
And so I was screening our short film at CAA and I got booked for this show. And I was like, okay, well, I can go do the show and then come back right before the film starts. And so like, so I went and helped set up at CAA and then I went to go do the show. And like, I bombed and I was like, this is what I get. I'm doing way too much tonight. I should have just been at the film screening and enjoyed the film with everybody and all that type of stuff. But I wanted to come up here and bomb and shit. And that's why I'm a real comedian, bro. Like that's. But yeah, I bombed my little dick off, bro. That shit was. Not saying I have a little dick. I'm just saying on stage. On stage, it felt like my dick was this little, because I was bombing. It was fucking terrible. But yeah, I got some laughs like towards the end, but for the most part, they were not fucking with it.
Yeah, I definitely feel that. I did like 2 don't tells in Arizona. And I hadn't done stand, dude. If I'm not like constantly doing stand up, I'm like setting myself up to bomb,
dude. It's definitely a rhythm to it.
So if I do a couple shows and then I'll go do a spot, I'll usually do well. But I didn't do stand up for like 2 weeks, and then I went and did the I went and did the don't tell, and then I was like, oh, it wasn't that bad. I mean, like they like, they laughed a little. They laughed at like the parts that I thought they would laugh at, and then I got off stage and I walk over and the dude's like, oh, you got some good pops. And I was like, okay, I bombed. I bombed.
You definitely bombed. That was a nice person.
Yeah, that was a nice. And I was like, great. Awesome.
You definitely got some pops. What an asshole.
I was like, okay, I'm gonna just remember that. Like, that's not a compliment.
It's not a compliment at all. Like, I know what you're trying to say here. You got some
It was like the nicest way you could have said it.
I'm glad nobody told me that shit. I was like, I'm killing you, dude.
That hurt. I was like, dude. I was like, but it was all because of my own doing. Just like I could have went to an open mic. I could have done something.
Yeah. It's definitely those nights where you're just not in rhythm. You're like, damn, what is going on right now? I'm usually good at this. What happened? But I feel like it's an art form that's very much like a sport.
It's like I just fucked up a joke that I've been doing for like a long
time.
The
worst, bro. Or like when you fucking stutter right before.
Oh, yeah.
Like I've probably never hated myself as much as like when you stutter right before you say the punchline, and then you still say it and knowing, well, this isn't gonna hit as hard as it usually did because I stuttered. Which is so stupid. It's like, so you're not gonna laugh that hard because I stuttered.
Or the stutter gets more of a laugh, and you're just like, God damn it, dude.
That's terrible.
That's like. Cool. I feel like I'm in middle school again.
That always sucks when like something happens that wasn't supposed to happen and that gets a way bigger laugh than what you were gonna say. And you're just like, all right, bro. I'll let y'all have it. Whatever. Comedy sucks, man. Why do we do this shit?
Oh man. I love it though. Like I feel more comfortable bombing now than I used to.
Hell yeah.
But like before, I remember like the first time that I bombed like really bad was at the Hollywood Improv, and I was cold opening, and
those are hard spots to do, man.
Yeah, and then like the next comedian came up and just made fun of my set, and I was like, God damn it, dude.
What'd they say?
I forgot what they said, and then I was like, I literally walked outside, and there was like some dude that was supposed to like take pictures of me afterwards.
Yeah.
That like can't like this good photographer, and I was just like, dude, I'm not even staying. Like I walked outside and I literally cried for a second. I was like, I shouldn't do this.
Dog. Bro. That's how it be, man. You go cry a little bit in this game. Because it's like, what we do is damn near impossible, bro. Like, I have a friend that was she was a writer in other mediums, and now she's dabbling in stand up, and she's very funny. She's just now figuring out how to bring that to stage.
Yeah.
And I was telling her how like stand up comedy is almost impossible when you really think about it, because the funniest things in life is shit that happens by accident. Like a baby farting, America's Funniest Home Videos, people falling off shit, like all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Like the funniest stuff is by accident, it wasn't supposed to happen. And stand-up comedy is very much, we're going to sit in these seats, you're going to stand in front of us, and you're supposed to make us laugh, and it's understood you're supposed to make us laugh, so we're expecting you to make us laugh. You know how hard that is?
It's very hard.
Why do we do that to ourselves? Like, it's so fucked up that we put ourselves in that position, and then when it's understood, I'm supposed to make you laugh and you're supposed to laugh, and you don't. This shit hurts, bro.
Yeah.
So like you going outside and crying, I totally empathize. Like I've definitely had nights like that, or even just like when it doesn't go as well as you wanted it to. Like that hurts too. Like that shit. Yeah. That shit be hurting.
Oh man.
Because it's stuff you thought in your head, and you're like, "This is funny, right?"
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it to a bunch of people, and they're just like, nah, it's not actually. That thing you thought in your head actually sucks. Like,
one time I did a show at a brewery, and literally no one laughed at my set at all. And it was just more like people were like, oh, they were just more like, some of it was like some like little like shocked things.
Yeah.
And then mainly just no laughing. And I was just like, okay,
yeah,
that was bad. That was like the first time that I bombed, and I was like, okay, like what should I do better?
Yeah.
Like what can I, then like the next show after that, I was like, I just sort of like wrote down a bunch of stuff, like what? The next show was way better though.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it makes you learn, man. It's learning from mistakes. It's just like, that's why I always tell people, record yourself, film yourself, go back and watch that shit and listen to that shit. Like, like how football players watch game tape, essentially, you know? So yeah, bombing hurts, but it'll make you better. Yeah. Or you'll just quit.
Yeah, or you'll quit.
I've seen that too.
Yeah.
I've seen some bad bombs, and you don't see that person for months. You find out, you're like, hey, where's so-and-so? Like, oh, bro, they moved back to Cleveland. Like,
they just left town.
Right, they just left town.
Dude, they were my roommate. Like, they were supposed to pay rent.
Right, they're supposed to pay rent, dude. You ever have a bomb so bad from another person, you get evicted?
Yeah. Oh, man. So how'd you end up writing for Dave?
So when I was 24, I moved to New York for a summer because I just wasn't really getting booked like that out here. And so I was just, New York summer 2019, I really realized I was actually like good at this, and I was funny because I was getting on stage so much in New York. Yeah. And I was writing so much new material, and so when I came back to LA, I was like, I'm gonna shoot my own special. And so I put an hour out on YouTube, and about a year and a half later, Lil Dicky saw it on YouTube, and then they got in contact with me, and they watched it, and asked for some like script samples that I had because I was prepared, and I've always wanted to write for TV. And yeah, so I did a few interviews with them, and then they hired me. Yeah, it was awesome.
What was it like writing for the show?
It was so fun, man. Because it's like you got a group of people in a house, and like you just very collaborative, and then you have the star of the show right there. So you can kind of just ask like, would this work? Would this not work? And just like tweaking things and all that type of stuff. And the show is like very detailed. Yeah, he's very detailed with the way he wants it to look. So we we really get down to the nitty gritty in the scripts about that type of shit. So it was really fun to just kind of see how that all worked. And then Jeff Schaefer, who's the co-creator of Dave, he's basically Larry David's right-hand man on Curb. Sick. So like getting to like sit there and learn from him as a first-time TV writer was just like invaluable. Like I know things that like somebody my age working in TV probably wouldn't know. Yeah. You know, and so it was kind of cool to just like learn from him, learn from Dave, like to see somebody starring in something they wrote and that type of thing. That definitely helped me with like putting together my film and stuff. Yeah. So I've taken a lot of stuff I learned in that room, and then also just like however amount of dick jokes you think get pitched in that room,
Yeah.
multiply it times 20. I was just like, this dude can make a dick joke out of anything, bro. Like there was just like a day where we were just like, yeah, we're gonna have to like take out like half the dick jokes on this. You gotta dial the dick jokes back. That dude can make a dick joke out of any situation at any time, and I applaud it. I do. Shout out Lil Dicky, man.
Yeah. So, what's your movie about?
My movie, 98 Honda. It is, so I wrote the feature film movie 2 years ago, 90-page script. And essentially it's about a drug dealer in 2004 that basically gets stuck babysitting his girlfriend's little cousin for the weekend. And so the kid wants to go see Spider-Man 2 because it's 2004 that summer.
Yeah.
And so that's all he's supposed to do is go take the kid to go see Spider-Man 2. But what happens is he's a drug dealer, so he's in some shit he's not supposed to be involved in. And some, I'm not going to spoil it, but like some things pop off of where a child shouldn't be with you. Like, having to handle these situations. And then there's sci-fi elements too, so things kind of basically get to a climax of this like crazy like alien invasion adventure, and him and the kid have to like save the world.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah. And so, I wrote that movie, and of course, I don't have the money to create aliens and sci-fi shit and stuff. So, we were just, my friend Christian and my other friend Eric, they're the director and the DP on the film, and they were like, what if you took act 1 of the script and condensed it down and like rewrote it into a short film? Yeah. So that way we can show them like the beginning of this film, one, isn't super expensive to make because it's just like everyday like slice of life type things. Yeah. But then also to show like you can act, the jokes are funny, the world is funny, and then we can make a movie, you know? Yeah. And so we made a 15-minute short film that's essentially like a scaled down version of what the first act of the movie would be.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sick. Did you do like a crowdfunding thing for it?
We did. So I put a lot of my own money into it because I never asked people to do something I wouldn't do.
Yeah.
But we went through Seed and Spark. They're a really cool website because we saw basically like on Seed and Spark, if you get to 80% of your goal, you can keep all the money. Yeah. Whereas like most of those platforms, if you don't meet 100%, then you can't keep any of it. Yeah. And so we needed that money really bad. Yeah. So we were just like, let's go with the one that's an 80% thing. Yeah. So we went on Seed and Spark and we raised about $45,000.
Yeah.
It was crazy, dude. Like I think somewhere close to 500 people donated to our film.
That's so sick.
I know. It's like really like a community made thing. So like I want people to like feel pride when they see it and see pictures of it and stuff.
Hell yeah. Yeah. What was the process like making it? Was it
a lot of work, man?
Where'd you film it at?
We went up to Springfield, Massachusetts.
Okay.
My Christian, the director of the film, he's from Springfield, and so he was able to get us a lot of locations for free. So if any young filmmakers listening to this, shoot stuff where you can get it for free. Because that like now, then most of the budget was able to be allocated to finding the actors, casting, the crew, food, all that, lodging. Because some of us had to come in from LA and New York, and so we rented like 2 houses while we were in Massachusetts and stuff. So it's like all that shit is very expensive and adds up. Yeah, and especially when you're using like your own money too. Yeah, definitely. So we were able to save a lot of money on locations. So thanks to him. So we shot it out there in Springfield. And one thing I was worried about in Springfield is like, if you know about Springfield, Massachusetts, it is very, very white up there. Yeah. and I'm walking around in like a tall tee and a do-rag and chains and shit because I'm playing a fucking drug dealer. Yeah. So I'm just like, so everybody was joking about like me going to jail. Bro, I almost did the first night.
No way. What happened?
Bro, so the beginning of the film, the way the movie starts with like a flash forward. So like you see what happened 12 hours before the movie actually starts. And it's like me running down the street bloody and shit. And so, right. You already know where this is going. So we're like in this suburb neighborhood, right, that my friend's mom lives in. Cause we were using his mom's house as like base camp where we held everybody. and like we had lunch and we kept the equipment and we shot there and stuff.
Yeah.
And so we're in that neighborhood, and basically we have this huge production truck, and we have our cameraman Eric strapped to the truck.
Yeah.
And like and everybody else like that's in there because the truck came with all the equipment and stuff. So like they're in the truck, and basically I'm running towards the truck, like that's where the camera's at. So I guess somebody saw that and called it. And so like we got one take in, and then before we were setting up for take 2, just see 2 police cars come swooping in. And I was like, fuck, dude. And they're basically like, yeah, if y'all keep doing this, like, he's going to jail. Like, y'all can't shoot it like this anymore. So like they told us like we couldn't use the truck for the shot.
Yeah.
So like Eric came off the truck and used the rig thing. But
yeah.
The first shot with it being on the truck was just the best one.
Oh hell yeah.
So I'm mad that I had to run 3-4 more times. I feel like I pulled a hamstring.
Yeah.
Because I was like, and when I did, I was like, oh yeah, I don't fucking run.
Yeah.
Why did I write this into this movie? I don't run. But I'm running in this stupid ass movie now. So yeah, I like pulled a hamstring after like the second take. But yeah, we just ended up using the take from the truck that was illegal or whatever. But yeah, the police showed up night 1, and I was like, we got 4 more nights of this shit. But thankfully, we didn't have any more run-ins with the police while we were out there.
Yeah,
we definitely got some like weird looks, and there's a scene where I'm dropping off the actress that plays my girlfriend.
Yeah,
and so we're outside of this diner she works at.
Yeah,
and so traffic is going by, Springfield traffic, so it's like 8 cars, and they see like a camera crew and a truck and like actors and stuff, and so everybody's like honking and like, yo, what's going on? And I'm like, y'all are fucking up every take. So there was one point where like there was no cars coming. I was like, let's go, let's get this before these people that don't ever see anything interesting come back out. That's like the one thing about like shooting in LA or New York. Like somebody sees a camera, they're like, oh, okay, cool. They're like shooting a movie. All right, let's keep it moving. But you go shoot anywhere else, people are like, oh my God, there's a camera.
Oh my God. Yeah, dude. One time I was filming, I had an MTV show before.
Yeah.
We were filming at this restaurant, and we got approval to film there from the restaurant. It's like an MTV show, so I thought like they had to have like talked to everyone. Like everyone should know about this.
Probably not.
And no, like, dude, we're doing like this prank thing though, where like I'm this like waiter dude, and I come out and I break through this table, and like we do that, and then I did this other thing where I'm like, there's spaghetti like all over me at like this nice restaurant, and like this family comes and to eat there, and like there's people eating spaghetti off me. They call the police.
They were not ready for that, bro.
Dude, the restaurant owner almost didn't say we were allowed to film there, and I was like, dude, what is going on right now?
And this is an MTV show?
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
It took longer than it should have to get him to admit we were allowed to film there.
Why did he not want to?
I don't know, dude.
He probably just was like, I mean, I didn't think the police were going to show up.
Yeah. Oh,
a lot of those people that own spots were like, yeah, you can film here. I don't think they really think about like what all is really going on. And so like, yeah, sure. And then when it happens, they're like, wait, I didn't say all this. It's like, no, actually you did. You said this was perfectly fine.
Yeah. And then you got some fucking Karen like being like, I'm gonna like write this thing online about and he's probably thinking, do my business.
You're right, my business. This is their fault. I don't know anything about this.
I mean, I would be upset too if I walked into a restaurant and someone was eating spaghetti off of someone that looked like me. But like,
you weren't naked, were you?
No, I wasn't naked. That would have been a crime. Yeah, that would have definitely been a crime.
That is definitely a crime.
Oh man, yeah, I remember the cops showing up and being like, "Dude, like, I'm so fucked right now. Like, I had like drugs in my pocket." I was like, hey, I'm gonna go get the manager and throwing everything away.
Bro, that's so funny. Yeah, because there's scenes where like I have to drive this car and there's a camera rigged up on it, and I'm laughing with one of the camera guys. I'm like, yeah, that would suck if I got pulled over. I'm like, I'm playing a fake drug dealer. Like, I'm not really a drug dealer. And they're like, oh, well, the weed's fake in the bag. I was like, yeah, in the bag. Yeah. Not in my pocket. And he's like, you got weed in my pocket? Like, yeah, I got weed in my pocket. Why wouldn't I have weed in my pocket? Like,
oh, man. Yeah, I feel like, I didn't really think it through. It's like, if you're going to be doing something, don't have something also illegal with you.
You don't think about shit like that. That's just how I move from day to day. So I didn't think, so I was like, oh yeah, we're also in Springfield, Massachusetts.
Yeah. Oh, man. So do you believe in ghosts?
Yeah.
Yeah, you ever had any, like, paranormal experiences?
I definitely feel like I have. I feel like I've definitely had, like beings talk to me at night.
Oh yeah,
like in my room and shit.
That would be terrifying.
I mean, yes and no.
No, they're like chill though.
Yeah. But then I've definitely like, you do enough drugs, you definitely like have seen some shit. Yeah. Like that's why like I was telling somebody the other day, I was like, horror movies are cool to me, but none of them scare me anymore. Yeah. Because I'm just like, I've seen scarier shit like this when I was on acid, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, dude. I've had some crazy, like somebody like, I smoked like a LSD laced blunt or some shit. Yeah. In New York, and I didn't know. The person didn't tell me. Yeah. They're like, oh yeah, there's LSD in that. Like after I smoked it, God. And I was like, I started laughing. I'm like, no, there's not. And they're like, yeah, it is. I'm like, wait, what? So I saw some crazy shit that night. So yeah, I definitely believe in ghosts, man.
One time I was on like a bunch of mushrooms at this party. And
it's a perfect place to do mushrooms.
And then this dude so me and this mushroom dealer dude were trying to get a picture. We were trying to take a picture of ourselves together, and this is like a long time ago. And he's like, oh, let's take a picture together. And I was like, sure. And then I go to grab my phone. I couldn't figure out how to take a picture. Yeah. And then neither could he. And then we asked this girl, we're like, hey, can you take a picture of us? And she hands him his iPhone, he hands her his iPhone. Yeah. And she didn't know how to take a picture either for some reason. And he was like,
we're all f***ed up.
Yeah, she was like, I don't know how to use this phone. He's like, what? You don't know how to use a phone? And like, he's getting mad about it. And I'm like, dude, we don't know how to use the phone either.
Right, that's how we asked her.
It's going to be okay. And then this fucking dude in a tap out shirt comes into the room. And
that's like a real detail. That's a real detail.
All I saw was like I didn't even notice it was a tap out shirt. I just saw this purple thing coming into the room. And it said tap out on it, and he's like yelling at us. He's like, he's like, my girlfriend isn't stupid, she's smart. And I was like, dude, it's okay, calm down. Yeah. And then he never tells someone to calm down. No. Like in a tap out shirt, no. They don't take it well. No. And he freaked out and tried to punch me. Yeah. And then I am just like envisioning all my bones shattering. This dude is huge. And he punches a fish tank. And instead of me, somehow, there's a fish tank next to us. And all the fish, I'm tripping balls, and all the fish are coming out onto the floor. And I'm like, all I can hear is the fish screaming. And like, they're just like, ah. You can hear them. But it's like everyone else, like, it's actually like probably everyone screaming at the party because there's a fight going on.
But it sounds like, to you, it sounds like the fish.
And to me, it was like the fish are screaming right now.
Oh my God.
And like, I could have swore one of them was just like, why?
It's like the mushrooms turned you into fucking Aquaman or something.
Oh my God.
Then they kicked me out of the party.
Of course they did. Of course they did. You're like, the fish.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Shrooms at a party is not the move, dog.
No, it's not, dude.
I'll take shrooms and I just sit quietly with myself.
Yeah, that's what you should do. Yeah. Like, I was like, I'm going to be around tons of random people that I don't know.
Yeah, my shrooms in front of groups of people is over. I used to do stand-up on them just to see what would happen.
Yeah.
I've had really good sets, and then I had like one weird one.
Yeah.
But like, it was weird to me, but it was funny for everybody else. Yeah. Because like me, like when I'm on shrooms, bro, like filter is just broken.
Yeah.
Like that's why, like, for me, like, I have to plan now when I do. I have a bunch of shrooms just at home, and like I'm just like, nah, dude, this isn't the day for that, you know? Because like the wrong person call you, or somebody you end up just saying some shit you don't need to be saying, and so like I was on stage and like something I can't remember, something fucked up had happened to me like a couple days before, and I just talked on stage about it very candidly and gave like, all these details that I wouldn't even tell like a close friend.
And I'm just super vulnerable.
I'm just telling this audience of people in Silver Lake, and they're just like crying, laughing, and like, but like I'm on stage like, yo, I'm not trying to be funny right now. Like I'm telling y'all this awful thing that happened to me, and they're just like laughing so much. And then so like I get off stage, and like the host was like, dude, great set up there. That was good.
You had some good pops.
And I was like, right. You had some great pops. He was like, dude, great set. Like people were like texting me like, man, Niles is my favorite. And I was like, F them, that wasn't supposed to be funny. Like, he was just like, what is wrong with you? And I just went home.
Oh my god.
It was a weird night. I was just like, no more shrooms before I do stand up anymore.
Yeah. It's I found like early on, like I should definitely like I've been sober now for like a year, but I used to do like it used to be easier to name the drugs that I haven't tried.
Right.
And one night, like, usually I would, like, do painkillers or something before I go on stage. And that was, like, a normal thing.
What would that do?
I don't know. I just felt awesome. And one time I got stuff from someone that I didn't really know.
Okay.
And it was not what I thought it was.
Yeah.
And I literally was like falling asleep. I was like falling. Everyone was like, dude, are you okay?
Before you went up?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, dude, it was horrible. But yeah, it's just better for me to not put anything in me at all.
Yeah. No, I think I'm at my best sober when I do stand up. Like, pretty like both of my specials that I've taped in my Comedy Central set, I was sober for all of those.
Yeah.
But like I will say, I'm pretty high day to day just doing stand up. Even though I know I'm better sober, I'm still like, because like I was telling somebody, it's like doing stand up with like like when like athletes train and they wear like the weighted vest and shit.
Yeah.
That's like for me, like smoking a bunch of weed and doing stand up is very much that, because like now I have to like I've had sets where I have to like fight to remember the jokes and shit and like everything, and I'm like, okay, dude, if I'm this funny like high, like when I'm sober, I'm gonna kill it. So like pretty much like every taping I do, I'm sober, but just the day-to-day shit, I'm usually very high on stage.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I feel like weed's fine. Just don't nothing else.
Yeah. Don't do anything stronger than weed before you go on stage. And I've tried not to drink. I've tried not to drink as much. Like I've been trying not to drink as much in general. I've never had like a problem, but I definitely just like my stomach and like I feel better when I don't drink. But I've definitely been trying to not drink before I go on stage just to see like what's that like. Yeah. Like in comparison. So.
Oh yeah. Have you ever seen anyone puke on stage?
On stage?
I always think that would be so funny.
That would be hilarious. I've seen people puke after their sets.
Yeah.
But I've never seen anybody puke on stage.
Dude, I feel like doing a set and puking could be so funny.
That's funny as hell. People are like, how do people not laugh? They're either gonna laugh or be very grossed out. And also, whatever you say after puking is gonna make the whole room laugh. Yeah, it doesn't matter what you say. We're all gonna like scream laughing. Like all you gotta be is just like, well, that wasn't part of the act. Like everybody's gonna just die. Or if you say like, yeah, I actually wrote that down. Like, to do that.
Oops.
Oops. Can we pretend like that never happened? No,
Can I start my set over real quick?
Yeah, does my time start now? That would be the funniest shit if somebody puked on stage.
Oh my god.
I remember one of the first shows I ever did. I was a young comedian. Yeah. I was only doing this shit for a couple months. I was doing a show at Flappers, and this white lady did a set that was really, really bad. Older white lady. And she started walking dogs that weren't there. Like, she was, like, walking two dogs on stage, and, like, she was playing the dogs too, and they were like barking back at each other. And so like you just see this white lady with crazy hair just going like up and down the stage, and it's just dead quiet, and the room's full. Like if you've ever seen the main room in Flappers, the room was full. Everybody was just confused. Like everybody was just like, "What the."
Who let this homeless person
Dude, I think so, dude. It was like my first. I was new to comedy, and so I had seen bad comics, obviously, because I was at open mics. And I wasn't good, but I had never seen anything like that, and I had never seen anybody commit to this shit to where like when she started the act out. No one was laughing. So for her to just like keep doing it for another minute, no. It was brave.
Oh my god, that's so
no
funny.
one told her she got any pops.
You get
In fact, when she came to the green room, everyone just kind of like pretended like she wasn't
just
there.
look the other way.
Dude, that's always awkward on a show when like a comedian that does bad sticks around to like hang out, and so it just like makes shit awkward. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like me and some friends used to say that shit. Hey, if you bomb, do everybody a favor and go home. Cause you're just making it awkward for everybody else. Cause now we can't talk about how fun the show was and how good the audience was. Cause what are you gonna be like? Yeah,
You're right. It's just me.
So it's just like it just makes it awkward. Just go home. Like dog. Like the worst thing is where like two comedians rode to the show together. And somebody did bad and somebody did good. And so whoever did bad, if they drove, hey, let's get. Hey, we gotta go. Let's get up out of here.
Dude, you got to give me gas money now.
Right. And then, or if the person that did good drove, so they want to stay and hang out. Because you know when you do good on a comedy show, you want to like sleep like, oh, I'm going to stand by the door while everybody hands out so they can tell me like, yo, good set. Dog, that shit is always funny, bro. When somebody is just like, they come in the green room, it's like, tough crowd out there. And everybody else is like, no.
One time I stood next to the door when I did bad. Someone's like, hey man, you were good in Jackass.
That's so f***ed up. You gonna bring up another medium? Hey, f*** this shit. That other shit you be doing?
It's so
That's
funny.
the worst thing you could tell somebody.
So
I like
funny.
that. I like that other shit you be doing. That's crazy. And then if you liked me in Jackass, like you don't have to tell me that. Especially not in this context. DM me that shit.
One time I was with some other like movie person, and I won't say their name just because, and we were walking around, we were just getting coffee.
Yeah.
And someone came up to me like, oh, I really loved your earlier work. And I was like, what the fuck? Who says that to somebody?
Dude, the way people talk to artists is just
there's like a huge like disconnect where like especially online.
Yes.
Where people feel like they can just say anything and it's just okay.
Yes.
But then sometimes it trickles into real life too.
Bro, because, most people don't get to meet the people that make the stuff that they like. Mm-hmm. So when they do, they just usually end up saying something like really weird.
Yeah.
And the thing is like, and I remember being young, like I've almost done that before.
Yeah.
But it's just like, and now that it happens to me, where like I'll meet people in real life that know me from the internet or whatever. And I'll be like, here they go. They're about to say something so weird. And it never fails. They always do. But I'm just like, it's sweet though. Like they just wanted to, like one of my friends, she told me about this story where like she met John Mulaney.
Yeah.
And this was before he was like famous though.
Yeah.
And so she had a friend that like worked security at a comedy club. And she was like, can you get me in the green room so I can say hi to John Mulaney? And this is in between shows. Because you do the 7 o'clock, you got the 9 o'clock at the club, right? So he gets her in there. John Mulaney just thinks, I'm meeting a friend. I'm meeting a fan. Hi. He's not like, I don't even think his Comedy Central set is dropped yet. Like, he's not famous. And so, like, he's still doing, like, small comedy clubs. So he's like, hi, nice to meet you. Thank you. And she sits down on the couch. And starts talking to him and tells him this story about how. So she's worked as a nurse, and she works with like dying kids that have cancer.
Oh my God.
And she said there was this kid there that was like nonverbal, like the cancer was so bad, like they couldn't talk, nothing, and like their family has not been able to communicate with them for like weeks now.
Yeah.
And like I think at that time she only had like a day to live or some shit.
Yeah.
And so she just had to like spend time with the kid.
Yeah.
And so since she just had to be in there, she's scrolling through the channels in the room, and John Mulaney's new special is on.
Yeah.
So I guess the Comedy Central special had just dropped. So So she turns it on the TV and she's laughing, and she said like 5 minutes in, she just starts hearing the kid laugh.
Yeah.
And like she was like, this kid hasn't made noise in months, and like she's laughing at John Mulaney.
Yeah.
And then she asked the kid, like, you like this? And the kid just starts talking. It's like, yeah, this is great. Who is this? Asking all these questions. And then like, so basically for like a week, the kid could talk, and like the family came back in and like got to talk to the kid and everything. They had a good time as a family, and then the kid died. So the kid ended up living like a week longer than everybody thought, and actually got to talk to family members and everything. So she tells John Mulaney this story.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Thinking,
wait, did the kid already pass?
Yeah, the kid already died.
Oh no,
So
dude.
she tells John Mulaney this story, thinking John Mulaney's about to be like, wow, thank you for letting me know this. And he's probably thinking like, bro, I have another fucking show to do. Like, I did not want to hear this shit. But that's what happens when you make stuff. It's like people want to have the weirdest fucking conversations with you that have like
God.
that have something about you kind of mixed in it. And so she was just like, Niles, if you get popular enough to meet John Mulaney, can you ask him if he remembers this story? And I was just like, I promise you, he never thinks about that. He probably drank so much that night just to forget y'all ever had that conversation. Like, I'm just like, bro, I love hearing the shit about like, man, you know, I was not feeling good and your comedy made me feel good. Keep it there. That's all I want to know. I don't want to hear stories about who died and all that stuff. I got people dying in my life too, nigga. And I don't have some comedian I can go trauma dump on. So you don't get to do it to me. Just if it made you feel better, please tell me that. That's great. Let me know. I don't need to know the details. I do not need to know about the child with cancer that my comedy special
Give him an extra week of life. Oh my God. The power of comedy is strong.
No,
Can you imagine if the kid actually died watching it because he was laughing
That's
so
what
hard?
I'm saying.
Like,
and my thing is like, you would have told him that shit. And she's like, yeah. Like, but it's this thing. It's like people just think comedians like, because we're funny, we want to talk about every, like, nigga, I'm a person still. Like, people will come up to you and just say the most wild shit. And then if you don't laugh at it, they'll be like, oh, I thought you were a comedian. It's like, yeah, it's the job I do.
Dude, have you ever seen Patch Adams? That movie where Robin Williams is like using the power of laughter to heal people.
Is that what ruined all of this?
Oh man. Dude, they should remake that with John Mulaney.
They should. I mean, he's done it in real life. There's IP.
Oh man.
Have people ever done the thing to you where they'll come up to you and they'll say something and you're like, oh, that's funny, and you'll laugh, and they'll be like, ooh, I made the comedian laugh. I'm like, no, don't do that. Don't go around now they're gonna go around being like, I made this comedian laugh, I'm funny too. No. I probably just gave you like a pity chuckle or something because I'm a nice person.
I've heard people say that. Oh, one thing I don't like is when people are like, oh, you're a comedian? Tell me a joke. Like, dude, I hate that so much.
What I've started to do when people do that, I'll be like, so where do you work? And then they tell you, they're like, oh, I work at Target. I was like, all right, well, go clean up over there. And when you go clean up over there and it looks spotless, I'll tell you a joke. We'll both work tonight. Fuck that, dude. I hate when people do that shit. Like, comedians, we got to be on all the time.
It's like, even on the spot, like, what would I even be able to, like, that wouldn't even work.
Never.
Oh my God, dude.
Or I'll be like, give me $100 and I'll do it. And usually if somebody's drunk enough, if somebody's drunk enough, they'll do it.
Yeah.
But,
oh man. And so so what's next for you, man?
what is next? Just trying to make this short film into a feature.
Yeah.
That is that's the goal right now. So so what my agents are doing right now is kind of putting feelers out to like different companies that I like.
Mm-hmm.
And we're working on getting like a famous rapper attached to play the villain.
Oh yeah.
So we're working on that just to make the project more like people get more excited about it. Like, oh, this person's gonna be the villain in it. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, so we're trying to get some names attached, trying to get some maybe like outside investors that want to put their money into something, so that way you can go to like a studio or a bigger company and be like, hey, we did all this, we brought you all of this, like you can put the finishing touch on this thing and we can go make it into a movie. So for me, like I'm really focused on trying to just like bring it into fruition and just making it happen, because so many people gave money and so many people worked hard on it. So I'm just trying my best to like really make it happen, so people feel like their hard-earned money and their work was worth it, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm working on that. And then I have this like docuseries idea that I want to make. And so me and a friend, we're going to go out to Colorado and we're going to shoot like the concept pilot of it ourselves.
Yeah.
And then we're going to send it around and see what people think. Because
Hell yeah.
I think it's a good idea, but it's just like, there's one thing to be like, hey, check this Google Doc of what I want to do, or you could watch it and laugh.
Yeah,
you know?
It's always better to be able to actually like, oh, I made this thing. Like,
Right.
Go check it out.
And so since it's like a docuseries type thing, it's a very low budget thing to do. It's more of a travel thing. So like we can go shoot it like a small scaled down version of it ourselves. So those are kind of the two things I'm focused on right now.
Yeah,
and then stand up, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man.
I'm headlining Netflix is a Joke out here on May 10th.
Oh fuck yeah, dude. That's gonna be sick. Yeah. I always ask everyone that comes on the podcast this. Is there anything that you do every day to make sure you're like reaching your maximum potential?
Yes. I try to do, that is like one thing I try to do every day is I try to do one thing that'll get me to where I'm trying to be. So it's like, if I have like a general meeting with like a production company, like that's something like you go talk to people about your ideas or whatever.
Yeah.
Or if like I have like or I'll do like a small like writing session, either from 30 minutes to an hour, or I'll research something, or I'll read something, or I'll watch a movie in the genre of something I'm trying to make. So every day I try to do like a little thing, or I'll go do an open mic, or I'll go do a show. So every day I do at least one thing that's going to help me get to that.
Oh yeah, dude.
And I feel like if you do one thing every day, at the end of the year, you at least did 365 things to get you where you need to be, you know?
Yeah. Well, that's sick, dude. Super stoked to see your short.
Yeah,
I want to see it. I want to see you make it into a movie.
Thank you, bro.
I'm stoked for you. I'm gonna try and come see you do stand up soon too.
Please do.
Yeah. And thanks so much for coming on the pod.
Thanks for having me, dog.
Yeah, no,
I've been wanting
fun.
to do this. I was excited when y'all hit me up. So
Hell yeah. Well, thanks again. And you have anything you want to plug other than?
Yeah, Netflix is a Joke. May 10th out here in LA. Get your tickets, and I'll see you there.
Yeah. Thanks for watching this episode of Maximum Zach. Stay maximum.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah,
Cool.
that was hilarious.